This moment may have just changed everything for Angel Reese, and what happened behind the scenes after the final buzzer is something the cameras didn't fully capture, but insiders are now starting to reveal, because what looked like just another intense game quickly turned into one of the most talked-about locker room situations in recent WNBA conversations. And it all started during a high-pressure matchup, where tensions were already building throughout the game, with physical plays visible, frustration, and subtle exchanges that most casual viewers might have missed but dedicated fans immediately picked up on, especially as Angel Reese's body language began to shift in the second half, showing signs of frustration, urgency, and something deeper that hinted this game meant more than just another result. And as the final minutes ticked down, every possession felt heavier, every reaction more intense. And when the buzzer finally sounded, instead of the usual post-game routine, something felt off, because reports suggest that as players headed back to the locker room, the energy wasn't just disappointment or competitiveness, it was something far more tense, something that sparked conversations among teammates and quickly spread beyond the walls of that room. And while official footage doesn't show much, multiple sources began hinting that voices were raised, emotions boiled over, and a situation unfolded that caught even those inside by surprise, with some claiming that Angel Reese was at the center of a heated exchange that reflected not just the outcome of the game, but deeper frustrations that may have been building over time. And this is where things take an unexpected turn, because fans on social media began noticing subtle clues, from delayed press appearances to unusually short responses in interviews, and even teammates avoiding direct comments, which only fueled speculation that something significant had happened behind closed doors. And as more reactions poured in, the narrative quickly split into two sides, with some defending Reese's passion and competitive fire, arguing that moments like these show how much she cares and how badly she wants to win, while others questioned whether the situation hinted at internal issues that could impact team chemistry moving forward. And what made this story explode even more was the timing, because in today's WNBA landscape, where every move, reaction, and moment is analyzed in real time, even the smallest shift in behavior can spark massive attention. And this situation had all the elements of a viral moment: mystery, emotion, and just enough missing details to keep everyone guessing. And as analysts and fans continued to break down what might have happened, one thing became clear: this wasn't just about a single game. It was about momentum, perception, and how quickly narratives can change in professional sports, especially for a player like Angel Reese, who has consistently been at the center of attention, both for her performance and her personality. And now the story goes even deeper, because sources close to the situation suggest that this wasn't the first time tensions had quietly built up behind the scenes, pointing to earlier games where similar frustrations were visible but never fully addressed publicly. And if that's true, then what happened after this game might have simply been the breaking point, the moment where everything that had been building finally came to the surface. And that raises even bigger questions about leadership, communication, and how teams handle internal pressure when expectations are high and every game feels like it carries extra weight. And as fans started digging into previous clips and interviews, they began connecting dots, noticing patterns in reactions, body language, and post-game comments that suddenly seemed more meaningful in light of this incident. And that's when the conversation shifted from speculation to full-blown debate, with some believing that this moment could actually fuel Angel Reese's next phase, pushing her to elevate her game and silence critics, while others worry that distractions like this can linger and create even more pressure moving forward, especially in a league where momentum can change quickly and narratives can stick longer than expected. And then came the reactions from analysts and insiders, who began carefully discussing the situation without confirming too many details, which only added more fuel to the fire, because the less that is officially said, the more people try to fill in the gaps themselves. And that's exactly what happened here, turning this into one of those moments where the mystery becomes just as powerful as the actual event. And now all eyes are on what happens next, because the next game, the next performance, and even the next interview could completely reshape how this entire situation is viewed. And if Angel Reese comes back stronger, more focused, and more dominant, this moment could be remembered as a turning point that sparked growth and resilience. But if struggles continue or tensions remain visible, then this could become part of a much larger narrative about pressure expectations, and the challenges of staying consistent under the spotlight. And this is why fans aren't just watching for highlights anymore. They're watching for clues, for reactions, for anything that hints at what's really going on beneath the surface. Because in today's sports world, the story doesn't end when the game does. It evolves, it spreads, and sometimes it reveals more than anyone expected. And right now, as this situation continues to unfold, one thing is certain: this is far from over, and the next chapter could be even bigger than what we've seen so far. Because when emotions, competition, and attention collide like this, the outcome is never simple. And that's exactly why this story has captured so much attention, because everyone is waiting to see whether this was just a moment of frustration or the start of something that could define what comes next for Angel Reese. And until we get that answer, the speculation, the analysis, and the anticipation will only continue to grow, making this one of the most closely watched situations in the WNBA right now.